Welcome to the VOD. There's going to be timestamps, hopefully, if this ever actually goes live. I'm so behind on these. Anyway, I'm about to hit the go live button. Yeah, I faff about at the start. You might want to skip that. Let's go live. Is that the right thing? That's the right thing. Good. Ah, it's been a while. And chat is up. Alright. Well. And I'm on time, which is good. How are my levels? Are my levels looking okay? I'd say levels are looking okay. Right, well, yeah. I need to ping Discord, don't I? God, this has been a while. This has been a while. Whew. I'm about to mention 52 plus people. And let's do hardware bot as well. Okay. So that's that done. And we are on the way. Right. Okay, I forgot to grab the B-die kit, so I need to do that. Right, B-die kit. Oh no. No, that's not good. That's not a good sign. Don't do that. Hey, Paul and Infinity. Alright. Because that kicked me into... Now, let's change the mem anyway. Change the mem, and then... I'll see if it actually runs Windows Update or not. I haven't given it an internet connection, so it shouldn't. Hopefully. Yeah, Taichi. I have the rig command up to date. Just one bit of prep I did manage. Okay, that's off. I could probably look back at the last time I did a stream like this and get the baseline from that, but I don't know. Just in case something's like changed with the system somehow, it feels better to rerun the baseline. Plus it gives time for people to file in. So let's get that seated. Yep. I completely forgot to switch to the big camera. Not that it matters. Do I have that seated properly? I do have it seated properly. Oh, that wasn't a good noise. Ah, I have the module upside down. That's why. Whoops. That's not a good start. Yeah, it's there are other people who are in hotter temperatures, but it's currently 24°C, which is not a good start for, like, I mean, it's midday, so okay, I think I have that the right way around this time. Yeah, this is going to be a really short stream of trying to force that broke something. Should be fine. Should be fine. Please be fine. Hey Matt, you up late or up early? That's normal, the board always does that. Right. Early bird gets the worm, yeah, fair enough. God, it's been a while. Been a long while. So still have a squeaky chair. Okay. So that boots into Windows, but now I actually need to set up the overclock. Because this isn't just... Oh! Okay, yep, those alerts are nice and loud. And thank you for the sub pull. Yeah, I don't know how loud that came through on the mic, but like, for me that was loud. Did I miss... How did I miss the BIOS? It was loud. Okay. Right. Okay, I got BIOS. Hey, Tim the Enchanter. Whew, right. And it's coming through on the monitor. Right, good. Probably the easiest way of going about this is I have a profile from when I did the XMP thing. So I'll load that, and then I'll go through and reset all of the timings. Wow, I really did everything for the XMP stream. Or almost everything. Okay, so that's all the timings reset. Voltage auto, frequency auto, XMP off, and then if I turn XMP on again, then it's just the XMP timings, and that's what we want, because this is the baseline run with B.XMP, and we have our frequency and whatever dialed in. Good. Hey Ricky K. Yeah, I really like the board. It's actually, it works quite well for me. Matt says, by the way, you've inspired me. I'm thinking of making a video trying to overclock DDR3 on X79 using 8 different sticks of RAM. It can be done, but yeah, that's yeah, good luck. Wait and see how I do with this first. See if you really want to put, you know, get yourself in for that. This might be awful, I don't know. So we're just doing 1B so that it doesn't take too long. Ready, time to bench. Good. Alright. What I'm going to do, once this has run, I am going to rerun it. I'm not going to do anything fancy like take an average, but I just want to make sure that like the next run is sort of in line, just to make sure that it's not like weirdly slow or anything. Because if the first run is like unusually slow, that's no good. So that's 27.119. That sounds about right. Let's... 27.119 seconds. And let's move that so you can see it. Good. Rick says the most cursed shit I've ever done was run 4000 CL18 on B-Die CGR mix. Even that was so much pain. Yeah, that does sound painful. Actually, I need to try not to swear. I set the channel to not be for mature audiences because it's overclocking. It's not a very mature theme, really. It's theoretically family friendly, so I need to not do that. I need to not read it out when people say naughty words. Right. So we're just seeing, is this around the same 27.222, yeah, that's close enough. Tim the Enchanter says, I've tried to run 4000 CL18 B-Die in Rev.D mix. The Mobo was not happy, did not even get it to Windows. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this does. It'll be difficult to know if it's complaining because of the mixture or if it's complaining because of the Micron. The CJR should be okay. Anyway, I need to get myself into the BIOS first, reset it. Hey, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, sorry, I'm going to get it wrong if I do. Looking for a recommendation and info about GPUs? Yeah, go ahead. I can't always promise that I'll be able to answer, but yeah, feel free to ask. And we got BIOS that time, that's good. Just let the capture card sort itself out. Okay, I think because I don't have subtiming set up, setting that back to auto is going to reset everything properly. It's if you have subtiming set up on this board, then if you set XMP back to auto, it stops you from being able to set timings. Like you can't go into the menu, but your subtimings are still set. It's weird. And like you can swap RAM and, you know, remove one XMP, apply another, and it keeps the subtimings. Okay. Well, good to know the capture card is being its usual self. That's fine. Rick says postcodes scare me because I don't know what half the codes are. Yeah, you sort of... you get used to it and just sort of like, oh, I've seen that, that means this is coming. But, yeah. Right. Camera. Okay, so this stick is the worst one. You can see it's 3000 CL16 and that IC code on the end there is C8FD. So the C is for crucial, so these are Micron chips that have been through the crucial division. The 8 is the number of chips, there's 8 chips. F is the type of chip, they're fine ball grid array chips. And D is the revision, it's revision D. Now because this is an 8 gig stick and there's 8 chips, that means it's 8 gigabit density. So it's 8 gigabit revision D, which is rubbish. It's complete trash. So this is going to be interesting. Let's pop that in there. Then the other stick that I have is this. So this is a stick made by a Chinese company called Colourful, and I actually got this as a review sample a couple of years ago. Now the thing is, they only sent me one stick, so I was reviewing a single stick, therefore in single channel, So they didn't get a very favourable review on performance. But the chips in it are Hynix CJR. I know that because their website says so, and it does overclock like CJR. So it's actually pretty good. I like the looks of it as well. But all right, what was that question? I'm thinking about upgrading my GPU with my limited budget. My options are a second relatively cheap 2080 Super from a trusted source, for higher price 3060 Ti, or even higher 3070. So multi-GPU doesn't generally work that well these days. You can get it to work, but it's a pain. So I would not recommend getting a 2080 Super. I wouldn't recommend a second one of those, if that's what you're saying. I mean, between the 3060 Ti and the 3070, it really just depends. Oh, just a second-hand 2080 Super. Yeah. What I would suggest is go to Tech Power Up. If you look at their reviews, they test a lot of different games and they have a performance summary. So that's really, really helpful. I don't know off the top of my head whether the 2080 Super is going to be faster than a 3060 Ti or 70. However, there's lots of other people in the chat, like Tech Tested there, who do follow these things quite closely. So, by all means, listen to what they say. Right, so I'm setting XMP for the Cused combination. 3060 Ti is on par with 2080 Super, they say. So, if you've got two options, and one of them is new and one of them's used, then the new option, it does come with a warranty. The fact that it's newer hardware means that it might get improvements in the future. So, if they're the same price, there's not really any competition. Okay, why is the resolution still being weird? Let's see if a restart fixes that. Oh, I forgot to switch you back anyway. Rick says, and better ray tracing cores. Yeah, so that's one of the big things between the 20 and the 30 series, is if you've got similar performance in normal games, well, the 30 series is probably going to be a lot better when it comes to ray tracing. So yeah, there's a few reasons to go for the 3060 Ti. As for whether to go to the 3070, I mean, it's how long is a piece of string? Do you need more performance? I can't tell you that, but like, it depends what games you play. But then, like, what new games are going to come out? I don't know. I don't know what they'll be like. I think a lot of people are running cards like the 3060 Ti, so it's probably going to stay pretty good and pretty relevant for a nice long time, but yeah, I don't know. Right. Well, let's run our XMP baseline then. So this is at the XMP of the Micron stick, and once I've done the run, I'll fire up Zen timings, and then we can see the settings. But yeah, because the other stick has a higher XMP. Something I should mention, so if you're looking at the camera, then you might think that the Ballistix stick actually has nicer looking RGB, right? It looks a bit nicer. That's because the colourful stick is brighter and it's swamping the camera. In person, let me tell you, the colourful CVN Guardian has really nice looking RGB. It's very bright, very well diffused, and it looks... I mean, I know I did get that stick for free, but I've already done my review of it. I've fulfilled my obligation there, and that was for a website anyway that I don't even write for anymore. I'm not getting anything from telling you that, it's just what I actually think. Anyway, so XMP we have 37.139. So that's a nice gap for us to close there. Let's rerun that just to confirm. I can start doing title updates now, can't I? PB 37.139, target 27.119. I want to get a new GPU and want it to carry me for the next 5 years or so. If you're playing the latest games, 5 years is a long time. So that's a reason to get a higher end one. Okay, we actually have a slightly better score on the rerun anyway. So let's just take that. We'll take the rerun score, 067. Alright. Oh, and it's seconds, isn't it? They're both in seconds. Alright, so I said I would give you Zen timings, so let's fire up Zen timings. And I'm actually going to... oh, that's big. I'm going to save that just for myself. This isn't valid for hardware bot like this because it's missing a load of like CPU Z tabs. But just by saving that I have it for my own reference. So yeah, you can see we're at 3000, 16, 18, 18, 38. That's interesting. Our RRD timings are actually fairly tight already, so I don't know how much room there is to manoeuvre on those. But we'll see. So... now that's done, I guess, yeah, time to overclock it. Now, I've done very limited pre-testing. All I've found in the limited pre-testing is that 3200 works with the same timings without having to change timings. So let's do that first. Funnily enough, it's actually 3200 1618 is not stable. I ran a little bit of HCI mem test. It's not actually stable, but it's just stable enough for Ycruncher, which is pretty stable to be fair. But some would say stability is not a spectrum. Some would say that. When you're an overclocker it is, but when you're actually using a system, to be fair, it's not. So, I mean, this is a fairly straightforward... one of the things about this is bumping up the memory speed is also bumping up the fabric speed. So we're going to get pretty good gains from that, even if we do end up loosening the timings to go higher. Yep, so already that's dropped 0.6 of a second off, which is not a huge amount, but it's a bit. 36.413. That's also in seconds, isn't it? We're still in seconds. Okay. Well, I guess let's keep going. I'm not going to make myself update the title every single time. Let's just try 333. I don't think this is going to work, but let's try it. Maybe I'm too much of a pessimist. Well, it's booting. When the postcode goes to 02 and then disappears, that means it's yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm just going to add something to the text box real quick here. There we go. So, normally it's RCD. I can't remember. One of these normally goes low, one of them doesn't, and I can never remember which it is. So I'm just going to nudge them both up a little bit. And maybe, hopefully, that's going to work. If it works, this is what years of experience gets you. If it doesn't work, then overclocking's all luck anyway. Well, it's not luck, it's process. It's having the right approach. There, it works. There, years of experience. WR is the one you can drop to 8. That's what I thought it was, so I believe you. Thank you. It's also the more fun one to say. TRCDWR. The country I'm living in has 120% plus inflation rate. Oh, cool, a fellow Brit. I mean, if inflation is that bad, a higher end piece of computer hardware might not be a bad investment, to be honest. As long as it's not like overpaying compared to what like the launch MSRP is. Wow. Okay, that's worse. So TRCD being higher makes it slower. Alright, let's rerun this. Infinity says if it works it's all me, if it doesn't, well, none of it is my fault. Yes, exactly. But yeah, so it's I have a funny story about this. So like, I bought an RX 6800 on launch day, and there wasn't really a good reason for it. Like, I can't really justify why. I just kind of, the mood took me, you know. So I paid about £500 for it, and a few months later I sold it. Not even on eBay, to a brick and mortar store called Kex, so that like there's no risk of someone like coming back after a month and demanding a refund. I sold it for £1,000, so it was. I've spent a lot more than the profit there on various other bits of hardware, but that was nice. Alright, so it looks like our higher TRCD is really killing us here. That, or the auto subtimings maybe have got a bit worse. Infinity saying Kex. Yeah, well, it's spelt C-E-X. But you can either say that with a hard C or a soft C. And I changed my Twitch settings to say that this channel is family friendly, rather than intended for mature audiences. So I'm saying it with a hard C. Let's try 3466 without changing any timings. To be fair, I think that is actually how it's supposed to be pronounced. Rick says, I know someone who buys dead RAM from there. Yeah. Yeah, okay. No need to call out Tim the Enchanter. Also, to be fair, isn't eBay worse for that? Oh right, yeah. Didn't you get, like, you got super lucky and unlucky at the same time, right? Because, like, you got a kit of hypers from Kex, and that's, you know, really lucky. That's really good RAM, but also they're super delicate and unreliable, so it was also dead, which is less lucky. Looks like we're straight in at 3466. I suppose I should update the title. 36.413 is still the PB. Unless when this run finishes it's something different. Yep, no, 36.413 is still the PB. Alright. Tim the Enchanter says probably did not help that it was MNHE Hyper, so that's the version of it that was sold earlier on for viewers at home. So it was probably dead before it got shipped. Yeah, true. Living examples of that stuff are really rare now. Like, especially like that version of it. Okay, I'm going to fire up Zen timings. Okay, yeah, so RRD, S and L, and I think a lot of our timings have got looser. Let me find... Client was not ready yet, who cares? Show an Explorer, screenshot. Okay, so all I've been touching is the primaries. However, the sub-timings, you can see we've gone from TRRDS of 5 to 6, L we've gone from 8 to 9, T4 we've gone from 32 to 37, and so on and so forth. So, that, especially RRD, that's probably why our score's getting worse. Even though we're raising the clock speed. So the thing to do about that at this stage is nothing. I'm not going to do anything about that right now. Alright, see you later, Paul, if you're still here to hear me say that. But yeah, I'm not going to do anything about that right now, but that's going to be something I need to address at some point. We're going to go through the sub-timings. But this is going to go better if I find the maximum clock first and then worry about my sub-timings. Gooden now is asking, when do the hot girls in bikinis get here? Actually, my fiance's out. That's part of why I'm streaming at the moment, because she's off having a picnic with a friend. What's the XMP on this CJR? It's just the basic 3200 1618. Well, let's keep going. Let's see if 3600 works. The mystery bin, yes. Except it's not a mystery because Colourful actually specify on their website the IC that they use for each different kit. Which is really nice of them. Okay. I don't even know what timing that is. That could be anything at this point. Oh, I missed a BIOS. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to focus on getting into the BIOS this time. Or, what? Okay, no, I'm going to count that as 1. Does Colourful only sell Hynix? No, they sell all sorts. They sell Samsung B-Die, they sell Chinese-made CXMT. Is Colourful the Israeli company? No, they're Chinese. I wasn't aware there was an Israeli RAM company. Although I don't pay that much attention to where companies are from, to be fair. It's kind of interesting with some of the Chinese ones, because like you get like very different like designs and stuff. Okay, I'm going to loosen out literally everything. Yeah, even RAS, why not? Just see, is 3600 actually going to work or not? Colourful sold the Godbin bead, I know. 4800 1719 XMP. Maybe? They've certainly sold like good bead-eye bins. I don't know about that specific one. Oh no. I think I did miss the BIOS, so technically we did have another BSOD there, so I should count that as 3. Infinity says, speaking of XMP, someone on the GN server talked about Gigabyte not QVLing B-Die for their board, and when you go to the page, lo and behold, Samsung memory XMP'd at 4800 1922. Yeah, yeah. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, as they say. So it looks like we've got 3600. What are you running voltages at? Auto at the moment. This board's auto voltages are actually pretty good. So I have tried tweaking them in the past and it's not made much of a difference. But yeah, right now just auto. Infinity says finding Colourful in the US is impossible, I hear. Colourful have an AliExpress store. They even sell high bin kits using CXMT chips on AliExpress. Let me find you, hold on, while that runs, let me find a link. I found one the other day and there was a link and I posted it in a different Discord so I can find it fairly easily. There we are. Now, I don't know if that ships to the US, it does ship to the UK. Talking about 3200 1416. Actually, I think it was even better than that. What was it? It was 3600 something. Okay, it was 3600 1618. Yeah. Alright. So we passed at 3600, but it's still a bit slower than our PB, and that's going to be because of the auto sub timings and the fact that I just loosened everything in general. I'm going to keep pushing it, and I'm going to push for 3733. Because to the best of my knowledge, that's the highest that this CPU is going to go. I've tried before, didn't get anywhere. Hey Glenn. Oh, you know what I need to do? I forgot to start a prediction. I can do that. Start a prediction. And let's go with 30 minutes. Fit it within the character limit. There we go. You have F clock hole at 1900. It's not a hole because I can't go past it either. I've tried. It's just this CPU and this board, I think, yeah, I don't know which of them is to blame, but with this CPU and this board, 1866 is the limit. I've had it at 1900 unreliably. I've not had it past that at all. Hey, Crispy Silicon. Crispy says, welcome back, Mick. Yeah, it's good to be back. There's a voltage setting, defaults to 1.8 volts. I think I know the one you mean, and I think I've tried it. You maxed it out to 2.3. And now Crispy's going to sleep. Night night, Crispy. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't tried like fully maxing it out. I don't know if I want to. I quite like my 5950X. I'm just going to treat 3733 as the limit for this. I'm kind of surprised it's clocked this high, to be honest, with the revision D. How did I test F clock? Nothing like that good. It was just mem tests, just memory tests. HCI mem test. Which is not a good test for F-clock stability, but I've never noticed a problem at 1866, and I've never been even close to stable above that, so yeah. Change memory allocator to use memory mapping. I think on the 5950X interleave NUMA nodes might be faster. I've done this stuff before. You can look on my hardware bot profile. I have scores. It's just one thing at a time. So at 3733 with high F clock, we did actually get a better score there. So let's write that down. 36.010. Slobs is really difficult to deal with. Yeah, actually, let's try that. Let's try that now. So task queue. I think that's the one that I've used in the past as well. Interleave NUMA nodes. Let's run that and see what that does. When I inevitably annoy you, feel free to tell me to shut up. It's always a fine line, isn't it? I think being given advice that I already know makes me feel quite defensive, like I have to prove that I already know. But at the same time, there's going to be things that I either don't know or might have forgotten about. For example, disabling the I think large paging files, that's already enabled on this OS. The L2 prefetcher, I have been told about before, but had definitely forgotten, so you've reminded me of that. Alright, so interleave NUMA nodes actually came out slower there. But yeah, so it's, you know, there's no way of knowing what I already know and what might be new to me or might be a useful reminder. So, you know, I don't blame you, I don't hold it against you. It's welcome. I'm hoping you'll tell me some secrets because I'm still a noob. I don't know that there's any real secrets to this, other than just subtimings matter. Subtimings extremely matter, actually. Oh yeah, yeah. The little knowledge is a dangerous thing with Gamers Nexus. It's like the thing that the kind of trap that people fall into is, wow, okay, yeah, task queue is faster, fair play. People think that, like, their assumptions are correct, and they might think, for example, if it's B die, then the list will say B die for this gigabyte QVL thing that was mentioned, and they might think, well, I don't see B die, so there's no B die on it, and they're not challenging their own assumptions. They're not challenging themselves to think, well, why do I think that? How can I prove that? I'm going to leave that on task queue now, because yeah, that is faster, fair play. And not task queue, memory mapping. QVL in general is a meme. Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah. I have strong opinions about people who spend too much time looking at QVLs. 926. Because yeah, it's... You get a lot of people who will look at a QVL and they say, well, the QVL says this, so that's the chip that kit uses. Like, you know, as if someone like Gigabyte has the authority to promise on behalf of Corsair that Corsair are only ever going to use this one chip. You know, that's not how it works. All it means, if the QVL says something, is that's the chip that they tested with, and that's the chip that's, you know, supported. Or the people who think Intel AMD is limited to 3200 RAM. Yeah, exactly. You know, people see maximum supported memory speed, you know, 3200, and they think, oh, you can't go higher than that, so these kits are a scam. Right, well. So that worked. I should start saving things. So let's save to our work in progress profile. Now, this is where the secrets start, because RAS to RAS makes a huge difference. I'm a little bit hesitant, because I'm a little bit worried that if I set these timings, then that's going to be stream over because I'll have beaten it already, but let's do it. So 4, 6 and 20 is what I like to go for just as a starting point, because that works normally on sort of almost everything. So that should work on this, and it also provides a huge boost to Ycruncher. Um, 3200 is the max JDEC for DDR4. Yeah, that's why it says that, yeah. I have seen kits that are 3200 JDEC. G-Skill kits that are 04320, I think it is, at the start of the IC code. Those are 3200 JDEC. Good now says I follow the guide which has different values. Yeah, I mean, these are just the values that have worked for me. I don't have scientific evidence for them. It's very much a vibe. You know, I like them. They make me feel comfy. Do I like tuning Intel or AMD more? Oh, I don't think I could possibly answer that, because there's so many different platforms. And it depends on mood as well a little bit. Like, yeah, AM4 is not the nicest platform to work with, but it is quite fun how memory sensitive Ycruncher is on AM4, so that's nice. So it's fun to overclock, but the actual sort of experience of doing the tuning is not great, to be honest. And that is the effect that TRRD has on Ycruncher. Just like that. 6.5 seconds. That's 29.596. Let's, I think, definitely update the title for that as well. So the risk now, I am actually quite concerned here that this might not be a very long stream. And I set the prediction to half an hour. Alright, well, let's... I'm going to have to avoid touching any timings that I think might make it too fast. At least for a while. I like tuning AMD more because the typical frequency limit means I don't have to throw spaghetti at IO and SA voltages trying to get higher frequencies. Yeah, that's true. It is kind of nice knowing where you stand, although Ycruncher can sometimes actually do even better desynced. Hey Prev, was there any serious VDIM rollover? I have not even tried that yet. I'm at 3733 with 1.35 volts. So let's do cast latency next, because I don't think that's actually going to make a huge difference. So let's try 3733 CL16, and I'll get ready to update the BSOD counter. Oh, this might be a CMOS clear rather than... Oh, no. No, we booting? Oh, that didn't look happy. Maybe it's okay. Oh! Oh, me being all negative, but no, that's alright. Sweet. I'm slightly taken aback by that. I really wasn't expecting the Micron D to be capable of this. It's probably not stable, but wow. Yeah. Okay, it's not stable, right. I almost feel better about that. So I'm just going to reach over and hit the reset button. I don't like shutting down when the system's unstable. It's a superstition, there's no logic to it. So obviously CJR's voltage sensitive, I don't know about the Micron. I'm going to try 1.4 and I'm going to see if that helps. Good now says for benchmarking I'll just use Ycruncher 2.5B as a stress test. Yeah, honestly, like, I mean, if you've got enough memory to do that, it's a really good stress test. Yeah. You know, it's not 100%, but I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know of a benchmark that is heavier than that on memory. So it is fairly quick to run, and basically it does tell you if you're bench stable. Okay, so this is where we find out if Micron Revision D can actually scale. If this passes, it's scaled, and that's cool. I feel like it's got further, you know. And that's, you know, that's not 100%, that's not necessarily a good indication of stability, but that's definitely got further. I think TCL will scale, but not other primaries. Yeah, quite possibly. Tim the Enchanter says, would you like to borrow my 2x8 kit of OEM Micron Rev.D? Honestly, mate, I have so much stuff to mess around with already. I'm not short on hardware, not in the slightest. I appreciate the offer though. Yeah, I'm expecting this to be similar to E. Also, thank you for the follow, Exa. Right, 29.313. That scaled more from CL than I was expecting it to. This is really closing in. I was not expecting it to clock this high at all. This is really closing in on the target already, and it did actually scale. I'm really curious if it's still 2.5B stable, and I'm also stalling so that the poll finishes, but I am also genuinely curious if it's 2.5B stable, so let's find that out. .5B is a bit longer though. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I'm just gonna like double check in my tray that I didn't accidentally put E-die in there. Nope, it's definitely the D that's in there. I don't think too much about that phrase. I said nothing, this is a family-friendly channel. It's the Micron Revision D that is in there. This is the memory chip that has a revision, and that revision is D. Glenn's pushing an FX 4300 for frequency. Seems to have hit a wall trying for 5.4. Good luck. Is that on ambient? I've never really done like FX frequency validations on ambient. Yeah, we are still 2.5B stable as well. That's really good. Something tells me it's not. Yeah. So I was just interested if it's still stable at 2.5B as well. Oh, Blumenek. Oh, thank you for the sub. Yeah, I was interested if it's still stable at 2.5B, and it is, which I'm surprised by that. I really wasn't expecting this Micron Revision D to do that well, but since there seems to be a couple of new people here, I'm just going to take this opportunity to plug the fact that I have a Discord server, by the way. Feel free to join that if you like being pinged when I go live, and also if you like me posting about my stream plans. Anyway, what next? What next? What next? I'm really sort of scared that I'm going to like change something and it's going to push it over the edge. RCD maybe? Let's try RCDWR, because that... Hold on. And actually, I'm going to set that back to 22, and I'm just going to save our work in progress profile. And then let's try RCDWR of 8, because it should normally go down to 8. Hopefully. I don't know what the Micron's like. Mimosa asks, is Ycruncher also influenced by CPU? Yes, it is. CPU is at a fixed 4.4 gigahertz. So, yeah. Although on the 5950X, it's surprisingly memory bound. It doesn't actually care about CPU that much. Just because you've got so many cores and still only dual channel. Yep, so we're at TRCD WR of 8. It's amazing that you can just like set that timing to the lowest possible value and it just works. And performance does actually scale as well, which is nice. The world record 2.5B on a 5600X is like 90 seconds. Yeah, on the smaller chips like that, it is very, very much core bound. Like, even on a 5800X, it doesn't really... Oh, that's interesting. WR maybe not that stable. Is this your hardware bot partition? So, this operating system on this entire setup, I used to use it for testing memory for reviews when I wrote for player.net. That's play3r.net. And it's still the same operating system from that. The system is dedicated to benchmarking. I don't do like daily stuff on it at all. I might when I get my Intel GPU. Because I did win an Intel GPU, so I might throw it in there and play some games on it. Because my actual daily system is a lot slower than this. Right, yeah, WR. I was going to... Let's try 10, because it wasn't that unstable. Do you modify it at all? Run debloat or strip? I actually can't remember if I stripped this one. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I'll open the start menu. Once it's loaded in, I'll open the start menu and then we'll see. Yeah. So you can see like I've unpinned all the tiles and everything. So yeah, this has been debloated and stripped and stuff. I'm not an expert on stripping Windows 10, but I've done my best. I feel you have to, otherwise Windows Defender will never go away. I might not have fully killed Windows Defender yet. I can't remember, to be honest. Alright, so TRCDWR of 10 rather than 8. Let's see if that passes. It's kind of nice to actually be limited on that timing. It's novel. Infinity asks, any guesses as to when is Intel getting around to moving those outside Asia? No idea. No idea. So, in the Intel GPU Discord, they said Q2, and they actually had a Q2 emote in the Discord. And what they've done just recently, as of, well, a week and a bit ago, is they've added a Q3 emote. Not remote. They've added a Q3 emote in the Intel GPU Discord. So, yeah, it's delayed. It's, you know that thing with an indefinite delay where it like feels like it'll never happen even though it's probably fairly soon? They promised Q3 recently. Good for them. They've made lots of promises. Alright, so we're at 28.733, so that dropped us another half second. But we still actually do have a little bit to go, so that's nice. I'd misread and I thought that we were closer than we were. I thought that we were within a few milliseconds. Yeah, that's a word, milliseconds. 28.733. Let's update the title on that as well. Oh, hold on. I nearly updated the target. That's no good. Wait, have I screwed up? No, I haven't screwed up. 28.733. Is that right? PB 28.733, target 27.119. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, good. Infinity drawing a comparison there between the Intel GPU and 10 nanometer. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Right. Well, onwards. So I like to start spamming delete when I see B2 on the postcode, and that seems to, if I'm actually watching the postcode, that gets me into BIOS reliably, although anyone who's been watching the stream will know I often miss it, because I'm not always watching the postcode. I get distracted easily. Save our profile again. What next? Let's see about gear down. Yeah. Let's try gear down mode off 1T. I'm not confident that this will work. Missed BIOS counter. Oh no, I'd be updating. The problem is that while I'm updating the missed BIOS counter, I'll miss the BIOS. Alright, so that's a no on gear down mode then, at least without, on 1T then, rather. At least without messing with it. It did actually post though, so that's nice. Ah, yes, the legendary batch file that gets you into BIOS on restart. I should get one of those, shouldn't I? Oh, I was watching the postcode and I still missed it because I was thinking about making that batch file. Okay, you know what? Yes. Alright, I will do that. So it was shutdown. So that's presumably reboot firmware, and then what was it? T0? Yeah, T0. So that'll be the time. People annoyed at me like opening Notepad, but the problem is that I didn't see their chat message because I was too busy opening Notepad. I suspect that might need to be run as administrator. Yeah. Can I do something in compatibility options that will make it... Yeah, screw it. Alright. Maybe via shortcut. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll have to try that at some point. Oh, pull is nearly over. So glad that worked. Yeah. Right. Let's go for 4416. Then the RRDs are at their absolute minimum, and also that might just like end the stream. Well, it's not going to end the stream. I'll keep going because it's not been that long. I'll keep tuning it anyway. But that's one of the things most likely to just like hit the target right away. Huh. How about that? Four 616. I'm going to try 4420 first. Just because I guess I want to know if the 4-act window actually does make a difference. I don't know, it's really weird because the way that like 4-act window and RRD interacts. Oh! Oh. I really need to get a BSOD emote. I'll screenshot it from the stream at some point. I know there's BSOD emotes elsewhere and many of them. I feel weird about that. Like, if it's something that I'm adding as like a Twitch sub emote or something, I want it to be something that I've like made myself in a way. I might fiddle with it a bit anyway. I forgot to update the BSOD counter. Let's do that. That's 6. So, okay, let's try 4520. I might well end up at 4616 anyway, but when I end up at 4616, I will at least know that that is the minimum setting. Oh no. Ah, I got clipped. Damn. I'm not saying anything this time. I'm still not saying anything. I'm not saying anything until a run has finished. Not until this... Well, I am saying something by definition, just not about how it's going. But this is me talking, to be fair. Can't deny that. Tim the Enchanter, are you in the Discord server? We have a channel for stream clips. Okay, so that did pass, but it's like barely faster. Like that's nothing. So I'm just gonna, you know what? Let's I am going to move that into documents. Oh, that's a mess. And then I'm going to make a shortcut the way that Alice suggested. And then maybe if I go into properties on that, does that give ha. Well done, Alice. And now, hopefully, look at that. I think the enchanter says I am now. Sweet. I'll add your role. Hey, Cubies. Right. So 4520 worked, so let's try 4516. Hopefully this works. Yeah, okay. Because it looked like 4 wasn't the issue, so I don't know. It could still be the issue, but yeah. 4516 I'd be pretty happy with. And more to the point, I'm hoping that this gives more of a performance improvement. Because 5 milliseconds is just, yeah. What tab do you go to for compatibility? It was just the default tab, but there was a button saying advanced. Have you found it? Yeah, 5 milliseconds is margin of error. 28.7, that's worse. You found it, good. Okay. Is that consistently worse? I'm a gentleman and a scholar. Well, I'm glad to help. I gained a follower the other day because I spent like a couple of hours helping someone in the Intel GPU Discord. They had an 11700K or KF. Oh no, that was better. Okay, so it was a fluke. But yeah, I spent a couple of hours helping them because basically diagnosed the problem that their motherboard VRM was inadequate and was overheating and making it throttle. And they were like, "Oh, what do you do?" Because I'd like, you know, mentioned stuff about like, you know, current versus voltage and stuff. I was like, well, I don't really do anything that technical, but I do these streams as a hobby. So I gained a follower from that. That was nice. 28.652. You're now obliged to wear tweed and smoke a pipe. Have you tried TRFC yet? No. Was there a particular setting you messed with for that? Yeah, so that was RRDL from 6 to 5 and T4 from 20 to 16. I haven't done RFC yet. To what Infinity said, I think I have... Oh, for the VRM temps. So, yeah, I mean, the big one is what they were observing was they were observing like these spikes in like CPU frequency. I'm not sure if it was frequency or usage, but they were seeing these spikes in Task Manager and like this kind of stuttering effect. And they actually had monitoring, and they were seeing the VRM hitting, you know, 114. But they were saying, oh, according to my research, that should be fine. And so I was able to explain, well, that's going to be like a thermal diode that's in between the chips. 125, that's the temperature for the silicon actually in the MOSFETs. Yeah, it's spicy, yeah. So like I could explain to them why they had read that 125 was okay, but it was throttling at, 114, 110. Fine for 6 months maybe, yeah, that's the other thing. They've actually bought a Z490 Tomahawk now. Whereas they were on a gigabyte something low end 500 series, I forget. Something without a VRM heatsink anyway. Right, I don't like tuning RFC. It spooks me, so I'm not going to touch that yet. Let's try RCD-RD. I'll save a profile first because I don't think it's going to work. But let's try 21. Infinity says, wow, those are bad. My timings or gigabyte 500 series boards, or the low end ones. What was it? It was a H something. It was probably something along the lines of the H510M. But I don't know if it was like that specifically. Yeah, I mean the timings aren't great either, but yeah, the low end board's not good. But yeah, one of the things that I suggested to help diagnose it was actually setting a power limit. So they tried running with a lower power limit, and the VRM didn't get as hot, and they didn't see like the spiky throttling behaviour as soon. They saw it eventually because the VRM still got really hot eventually because they only went down. For some reason, Gigabyte's default power limit is 160 watts, even on their like really low-end boards, or it's at least 160 watts because that's what they were hitting. So they dropped it to 125 watts, and that made it not throttle, and therefore they didn't see like the behaviour that they were worried about as quickly. Can you overclock memory on an H board? I don't know. You can probably set up memory timings manually to some extent. .7. Is this actually slower? Is 21T RCD slower? Or RCD-RD? So I think there was something about B560 getting memory overclocking support, like full memory overclocking. I don't know about H570. I assume there's an H570. I don't know about like H510. XR says I think you can on H510. Alright. Okay, this is consistently slower. Alright. I'm going to try TRCD of 20. It probably won't work. And then I'm going to drop it. I'm going to raise it back to 22. And not miss the BIOS because I forgot to use the shortcut. But yeah, I'll try 20 just so I know that I've tried it. Okay, that's stuck on 40. I've not seen it get stuck on 40 before. We saved a profile. before messing with TRCD. And that was on purpose because I thought something like this would happen. Now, do I try to get it to recover, or do I just go straight for the clear CMOS button? It's not even a button, it's like a little... Well, it is a button, but it's a little recessed thing. You know what, I'll give it one more opportunity to boot while I look for something to press that with. Pencil? Is that a pencil? There's a pencil. I found a pencil. Has that actually recovered? Oh, no, 40. Okay. CMOS clear time. There we go. All right. I'm starting to feel a bit sleepy. It's only 1:30. I didn't sleep that well last night, to be fair. I think this is normal behaviour. I think it's normal. And there we are. Alright, so profiles, load user default. Right back in. So we'll leave RCDRD where it is. So CAS latency, I'm saying CAS latency is probably the lowest on the basis that I had to raise voltage to get it to work. So that's the lowest it will do without more voltage, so I'm leaving that for now. That's the lowest because 21 is slower and 20 doesn't work. That's the lowest because 8 doesn't work and I can't be bothered to try 9. RP, let's try 18. Your 10900K is so bad you need almost 1.4 I/O to post over 4266. I don't really have a reference point for that. Like, it's weird. I've not really done any like modern Intel like DDR4 stuff. Previous Slayer says the CJR stick seems to be helping a lot with some of the timings. I guess, yeah. Let's hit reset on that. Player CVN Guardian, there's our review. So it's not going as tight as the CJR stick on its own would. Oh, I didn't do a proper overclock of it, that's annoying. Bah. Okay, but I got TRCDRD to 20 on the CJR stick. But that was before I overclocked them properly. Okay, 07, killed power, let's give it one more go and then... Oh, straight back in, okay. Come on, please. I don't want to have to add a CMOS clears counter. Why is it stuck on 28? Who gets stuck on 20? What even is 28? Get stuck on 54 like a normal board, or F9 or something. No? Okay. Right. Clear CMOS. Something I should probably do is I should actually boot up with the profile. Rather than trying to tighten it again, just boot the profile itself just in case there's some kind of like training effect. It's weird, it's quieter when the CMOS is clear. All I can hear is the fan that I've got on like the other side of this massive kitchen diner that I'm sat in. Well, not massive, it's not a big house, but on the other side of the room that's hopefully not too loud so that it doesn't come through on the mic too much, but is enough to like just blow a little bit of air over me. Come on, give me BIOS. But yeah, it's nearly 25C in here now. I mean, it's not that bad, but like... Sometimes I'll change base clock a bit to make it train again. Interesting. We'll see if it needs it or not. Hopefully it doesn't need it. Yep, that booted up. I think I missed BIOS. Again. Screw it, I'm going to add a CMOS clears counter. Right. So RP18 it wasn't happy with, probably. I suppose to be scientific, I should try it again. Okay, it's getting stuck on a different postcode this time. It's getting stuck on B0 instead. But it is getting stuck. I'm going to take this opportunity to stand up. Have a bit of a stretch. Because I've been sat down in the same position for an hour and a half or so. And it's easier to reach the buttons on top of the case if I'm stood up anyway. No, B0, okay. Well, this is probably a good time for me to have a drink. Yeah. Don't forget to stay hydrated, kids. If anyone's wondering what I'm drinking today, I have a giant bottle of Tango. I've been working through. Good, and now was thinking of V-Color, but also they're based in Taipei, not Israel anyway. Oh, you just saw some on eBay from Israel. Oh, fair enough. It happens. Yeah, the word colour seems to be a very sort of like a very Taiwanese stroke Chinese thing. What's a Western equivalent? There's probably a Western equivalent, other than just gaming. I guess naming stuff after weapons. Tim the Enchanter says, mash case reset button for like 5 minutes. I get maybe 90% lucky that I can trigger F9 recovery. Yeah. I have done that before, but if I'm saving profiles, then I don't need to worry about it. Alright, so what we've also found out is but the battle axe is from Colourful. Yeah, true. Maybe they're trying to appeal to a Western audience, but I appreciate I'm starting to reach now. I don't have a starting point because it's showing me the auto timings for JDEC at the moment. Let's reboot and get back into BIOS. Oh, you know what is a very American thing? Is naming cars after like displaced native tribes. Yeah, there's one for you. Okay, let's try row cycle time of 64. Or sports teams, oh yeah. As a non-American who doesn't even follow like British sports, my favourite American sports team name is the Dodgers. Because I like trams. Okay, so row cycle time of 64 seems to have booted. That's really good, actually. Vengeance, Fury, Rage, those are all American. Oh yeah, Kingston and Corsair. Yeah. Good point, yeah. So in general, words of anger, yeah. I wonder if that's a post 9/11 thing. Have you used Juhor memory? Juhor? No, I've never even heard of it. AliExpress has a bunch. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I've never even heard of it before. And there it is. 26.039. Row cycle time is very good. No, apparently I don't have Ycruncher set to real time, so yeah. Nice little tip from Kubies, but also okay, I dropped a row cycle time was like in the 80s before. I'm going to screenshot it and then I'm going to rerun. Yeah. Again, this isn't valid for hardware bot, it's just for my reference. 26.039. Row cycle time, it matters. Especially once you've like optimized some of the other stuff. Rev.D at 3733 CL16, now I've seen it all. I'm surprised as well. Actually, it might be really interesting to take out the CJR and see if it still does that. Yeah, that's about the same, isn't it? 26.09. Well, we're still at 4.4, aren't we? Yeah, still at 4.4. Yeah, C8FD. Yeah, I lost all my channel points. Yeah, I should... How do I... Choose prediction outcome. Wow! 75% of the channel points were put into no. I'm actually slightly surprised. Will it beat the XMP Dominators? Yes! RIP your channel points. Oh, wow. Okay, title update, screen update. $26.098. I think this also means they've blown past the CXMT kit that I did last time I did something like this. Which is not that surprising, because that stuff, I didn't even get 3200 out of it to be happy. Well, wow. Okay. I guess let's keep going, right? At least for a bit. See just how fast it'll go. But yeah, what I'll have to remember to take out the CJR and see if it still behaves the same. Tuned B die versus Cursedmem. The tuned B die would absolutely win. Let's save a profile actually. Right. I don't know if row cycle time will go much tighter than that, but we can find out. See you, Mimosa. Oh, that's an F9. What about Killsry RAM? Not heard of that either. I think I might have seen the name once. XMP is lazy. Yeah, I mean, the whole point of this kind of challenge, really, is it's not about saying, is this RAM faster than B die? I mean, I might try that with some stuff, like maybe if I was using like Micron Rev.D or Samsung E die, I might be interested to try that. It's about asking, you know, what can you get from tuning? And the answer is that at least in Ycruncher, tuning your RAM, tuning like low-end crappy RAM, will get you past top-end RAM. And I think that's really cool to show people. I mean, it is Ycruncher, so it's kind of cheating because Ycruncher is like really sensitive to a couple of timings, like row cycle time, which this board doesn't set according to XMP. It still sets it auto by default. And it's really, really sensitive to RRD timings, which XMP profiles are notorious for not having those well set up. We're stuck on F9. Normally F9 recovers. But yeah, so Ycruncher is like the go-to benchmark if you want to make XMP look bad. But it's still really cool, I think. You know, it's really nice to show that even with XMP, you can actually get a better overclock by hand tuning it. And hand tuning cheap mem gets you better than XMP expensive mem. I paid like 300 quid for the Dominator Platinums, right? For those. They've dropped in price a lot now. I overpaid, but you know. Rev.D is great except for TRAS and TWR. Yeah. I've not really tuned it that well, to be honest. But yeah. I think TRFC on Rev.D is a weakness as well. I think that was one of the big ones. Like, even relative to Hynix. Right. So 56 didn't work. Binary chop, what about 60? What's strange on AliExpress is I haven't seen a single full XMP profile. Have you been looking at the full descriptions? Nope, F9 again. Let's just leave row cycle time at 64. You have? Oh, no. That is slightly surprising, because I've seen better listings than that, but... yeah. Alright. Tim the Enchanter says, I still hate myself for spending £210 on a kit of 2x8 3200C16 B die around the time 8th gen came out. 3200C16? How did you manage to spend... I mean, not to rub it in or anything, but... geez, that must have been like the worst time to buy it. Good Now says, I guess you can kind of guess based on TCL. I mean, sort of, but not really. Alright. No more row cycle time. Load user default. Save and reboot so that I can see what the auto timings are. Yeah, I think in general, like, spending big money on memory kits is spending big money on hardware isn't a good investment. I wrote a whole article about that for Player as well, titled something like "Don't Sell Your Kidney for an RTX 3090." Alright, what do we have here? I suppose I should just work down the list in order, shouldn't I? What's TRAS likely to do? I have no idea. Let's try 24. That's really optimistic. That's a bit silly, but... the other problem with TRAS is... oh, it seems to be booting at least. It's posted. it can potentially like roll over. So if you set it too tight, then you get worse performance. Okay, so TRAS of 24 booted. Tech tested. Matt says, "Okay, I will sell my other kidney for a 39." Yeah. Well, I mean, already like they're really dropping in price now. Like, I mean, at this point, they're sort of less worth a kidney and more worth maybe a bone marrow donation. Tim the Enchanter says April 2018 is when I got them. Pretty sure there was a shortage at the time. Sold it a year or so later for £75. Oof. Ouch. Yeah. Yeah, the memory market is really like cyclical. Really goes up and down. I mean, the GPU market does that too now. 26.026. That's slightly faster, just a hair faster. So let's write that down. 26.026. And does that actually work when I have Windows open? I don't think it does. That's annoying. What I'll try is I'll actually try loosening TRAS again, and I'll see if that gets it even lower. I'll see if I can get sub 26. Also, because it was 3200 C16 VDI, it was pretty naff. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But, you know, you've got to learn somehow, right? And, like, you learn by trying things and by making mistakes. It's just like overclocking, right? Like, I learn by putting settings in, and sometimes they don't work, and that's the only way that I know what settings are going to work. It's the same thing. Like, it feels like, oh, I made a stupid decision, I should have researched more, but like, it's so much easier to find things out in hindsight. Yeah, you got to do things, and sometimes you've got to make mistakes to actually learn. And £210 is not the worst mistake. Well, it's not even 210. It's like, I mean, the loss is what, 135. I'm pretty sure when I was in uni, somebody I knew spent that on a night out. Okay, so 28 gave us 024 instead, so it's technically a hair faster. I don't know why I'm updating this for the sake of 2 milliseconds, but I am. I think I'm gonna say I'm happy with 28 because it didn't make a big difference. So yeah, you should end the stream with tuned BDI results to kind of compare. So the really big problem with that is that this kind of tuning takes a long time, and I don't have a good tuned BDI profile saved. Let's try write to read short delay of 4. See if that works. think, what was the other low-hanging fruit? RTP. TRTP can make a big difference in Ycruncher. So I'll see what I can do with that. SCLs as well? I think that was something. Yeah, it's kind of funny, like, even my, like, because I have a profile for, like, 3D benching, but it has the CPU at a higher clock with SMT off. But also, like, it's not, it is for the dual rank B die, but it's not even that well tuned. Well, we're sub 26. . 25.989. Let's update the title. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to go, but I'd like to like run through the rest of the low-hanging fruit. So it's probably not going to go any lower, but I should probably try it. Let's. It's not got stuck yet. Is that booting? How about that? F1 starts in like 1 minute. Ooh. Well, have fun watching that. Yeah, I don't have anything interesting to say about F1 because I don't really follow it. That was slower, let's rerun it. But yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised how well this Revision D did. So like, I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna try it on its own to see if it's some kind of weird interaction with the CJR, like if it's doing better because it's mixed. No, that's still slower. Okay, so write to read short needs to be raised again because it's slowing it down. And I'll try reducing write to read long. Oh, I actually don't need to spam delete, do I? Because I've got the reboot shortcut now. What does SCL stand for? Something cast latency. That 981 was 8 milliseconds. Was it? Was it 981? Oh, whatever. Not enough. Not enough to worry about. I want to get through it, really. I have no idea what SCL stands for. I like the idea that it does literally stand for something CAS latency. Like that's what the S stands for. That'd be funny. Yeah, the last time I did a stream like this, it was with really early CXMT stuff, and the CXMT stuff also did beat the B die after enough tuning, but it took like hours and hours. It was like 4 or 5 hours, and it only just got past the B die, like right at the last minute. That's worked. 25.980. I can't be bothered to update the title for that, but that has worked. The capture card, like, works for a minute, but it doesn't pass through to the monitor, and then it like goes and then it starts passing through to the monitor. So I've got into the habit of like looking at the stream monitoring in order to like move the cursor a little bit. Though actually I should really save a profile because I've changed a couple of things, so let's have that saved, because I'm sort of expecting this to not work. Right to read long down to 10. Oh, well, it's booted. It's posted. Normally those timings don't really shift. That's what I'm used to. But they are. I mean, they've not done much for performance, but they are shifting. That's interesting. Yeah. I don't know if it's possible for like one memory stick to like carry the other stick in some way. Like if the CJR is somehow carrying the Micron, or if the Micron actually is just capable of this. Well, what's everyone else up to today, other than watching Formula 1? Not to, you know, remind people. Oh, that's another. That's not bad. 25.924. Chilling. Fair enough. It's a warm day, so. Well, it's a warm day here in the UK, especially like south and east of me. Like where I am is not too bad, and it's not predicted to be too bad. The rest of the country is getting roasted. I'm fine. Trying to get 10900K to get some decent scores on Hardware Bot. Huh? Best of luck. Yeah, as I said, I'm sort of not that familiar with that platform really. 2.4, wasn't it? Yeah. Yep. Right. I'd be really surprised if right to read long can go any lower. But there's only one way to find out, and it's by testing. Always test things that you don't expect to work, because you might be pleasantly surprised, although in this case, I'm not. That's 22. Like the Lily Allen song. Which lands a little bit differently with me these days as someone who's nearly 30. For those unfamiliar, the song goes, when she was 22, her future looked bright. But she's nearly 30 now and she's out every night. And it follows on about how depressing it is to be nearly 30. Yes, I'm 28. Alice says, I think I own that CD. Yeah, I mean, it's good, to be fair. Not necessarily that cheerful, though. It's Not Me, It's You, right? I think so. That's definitely one of her older ones, so yeah, like, probably, maybe. I think... Yeah. I don't own that CD. I just know the song. I know a few of them. Of course, there is also a Taylor Swift song. I could have gone to that. If I hummed a Taylor Swift song on stream, I might get a copyright strike. Why? I missed the BIOS and then I hit restart rather than hitting the shortcut. Play Trouble, please. No. No, I don't like. I don't want a copyright strike. Alice says, yeah, I remember Lily Allen liking that whole cheerful music with somewhat dark lyrics. Yeah, LDN is a really good one for that. You know what, I'm going to do RTP now because it can often make a really big difference. So let's try 14 down to 10 on that. I'm getting a little impatient. I want to sort of finish up. But I don't feel like I'm finished, so I'm not going to finish up yet. Is that... Oh, I forgot to write down the last CMOS clear as well, didn't I? You know what, let's have a twofer. Oh. There we go, and I'll update that for both of them. So I guess RTP doesn't like going that low. What did I set it to 10, didn't I think? So I'll try loading the profile and just setting 12. And then what else? SCLs. I still need to look into SCLs and I guess TRFC just to see like where I can get with it. So 10 didn't work, let's try 12. Please. Come on, please. Ah, good. Yeah, I already did WTR. That won't go any tighter. Well, S will go a little tighter. but L won't, and I didn't notice a performance improvement. Tightening S didn't seem to work, so I just loosened it again, although there might have been a couple of milliseconds in it, to be fair. Alright, come on. Really hoping this gets below 25.9. Huh. I'm rerunning that. Because that ought to be faster. If that's not faster though, I guess RTP back to auto and, I don't know, RFC next, I guess. I think Kif posted earlier, Tim the Enchanter posted earlier about like CJR having a limit around 250 nanoseconds and the Micron having a limit around 280 supposedly, so no, that is actually worse. Alright. Go on. Right. Yeah, so I'll just try 280, I guess, for RFC and see if that works. That might be a bit aggressive, I don't know. Right, where were we? RTP not helped. RFC try 280. Yeah. Woo, 22. So that's a no on RFC 280. I might have completely messed that up, because I think the value I entered will have been clocks and the 280s nanoseconds. I think the BIOS accepts it in clocks. That might be why it didn't work. I'll let it get into OS and I'll check Zen timings, I guess, having loaded the profile. Need to load the profile first. This is what happens when you rush. Yeah, so check Zen timings and see what the real auto setting is at this frequency in terms of actual clocks and not nanoseconds. And I guess do a bit of calculation. Right. So, what do we have at the moment? Where's our RFC? So 280 over 350, that gets us our ratio of 0.8 times 653. So we should enter 500, let's call that 530 for luck. I'm going to call it 530, and I'm going to keep saying 530 so that I remember 530 while I'm waiting to get into the BIOS 530, because I haven't written down 530. I could just like mentally divide it by 4 and I'd probably get there, but you know. Thank you, Alice. $530, RFC 530. Let's see if that works. That's much less unhappy, which you'd hope. Right. Ready to go. Let's go. God, I'm getting sort of a little bit like out of it. It's been a long time since I've streamed. Yeah, it's been a while. 25.798. Nice. 25.798. Let's update that now. And alright, I think just SCLs now. That's the other main thing. And then I'm going to take out the CJR, and I'm going to see if just the Micron on its own can run the same settings. Obviously the performance will fall off a cliff, because, you know, number of channels, but I just want to see if it can run the same settings. Now, where are the SCLs? Are there SCLs? I remember there be, is it these SC things? Probably these. I have SCLs in my head. Might be something to do with these, I'm not sure. Oh, there they are. Silly me. So they're 5 and 5. Let's save a profile. And let's try 4 and 4. I think what it might be is it might be read to read delay for like the same channel and write to write delay for the same channel, or something like that. I don't know. See you later, Glenn. Thank you. Right. Nearly done here anyway. Hopefully. Just the last hour of the stream is just going to be me repeatedly asserting that I would like to finish the stream soon, but don't feel like I can because there's more to tune. Come on. $25.77. I mean, it's something. I think, to be fair, they might go like really low potentially. It's also a bit silly to tighten them together because they're independent timings, but I'll do that until it doesn't work anymore, and then I'll try them individually. And that's 22 in again. Alright, I'm not going to wait for that. So, I guess I'll try tightening RDRD SCL. I don't know, for some reason I have a feeling that's more likely to tighten. And if I'm correct, then I don't have to tighten WR as well. So, let's hope I'm correct. Come on, need to hit the BIOS this time. Yes. When it shows AB, you know you've hit the BIOS. So 4-4 worked, let's try 3-4. Nope, 22. Alright, that's probably enough faffing around, actually. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to load the profile, reboot, pull the CJR, and then just see if the Micron on its own will run the same settings. Because, you know, I mean, mostly, to be honest, because I just noticed the viewer count about halved. That's probably just because F1 started. Which Micron rev is this again? It's D. It's revision D, which is conventionally not very good. Eight gigabit revision D. Is it in the title? Oh yeah, it's in the title as well, M8D. But not everybody understands that like notation. I don't even like that notation very much, but you only have so many characters to work with, so you do what you can. The DDR4 guide recently changed all the IC names so that I had to make a spreadsheet to translate. Yeah. I mean, it's Buildzoid likes it. Because it's just like, okay, M, Micron, 8 gigabit, D, revision D. Yeah, it's, you know, in a way it's easier than, like, you know, if you have an IC called CJR, well, you're saying it's revision C, but then you're also telling people that it's a flip chip package rather than wire bond, and that it's ROHS compliant. And there's not a lot of point in that. That's what the J and the R stand for, respectively. Okay, so let's just load up the profile. Have you unlinked the RAM from the North Bridge? Ycruncher loves the RAM speed too. I have not done that, no. I thought... aren't I the one who suggested that to you? But no, it might work. I sort of don't really expect it to clock high enough for that to help, to be honest. But maybe it would. Alright, so we've loaded up the profile. Kill the power. Alright, let's pull the CJR stick. For those who missed it, that's what it looks like. I really like the look of it. I think it looks really good with the ASRock like Phantom Gaming theme as well. Anyway, so just the Micron. Let's see if the Micron on its own can still do the same settings. That's normal. And now... well, the monitor's gone a bit... oh, I forgot to switch over to the... there we are. The monitor's gone a bit weird, as it likes to do, but I mean, we can still... there, it's readable. This is readability on stream. It can do it. I can't remember if 8 gig is enough for 2.5B to run. I don't think it is. I'll find out. I'll run whatever it can run. I'll take a screenshot and I'll use it to bully Previous Slayer. I mean, I'll send it to Previous Slayer, helpfully. But yes. I'm joking, of course. I do like Previous Slayer. Insufficient physical memory. Okay. 1 bit is. One B, not going to get you very far in your honey production. Seriously, I think 1B, like, over its lifetime, makes like millilitres of honey. My parents are beekeepers. Also, fun fact, apparently, like, bees are bought and sold in litres. Like you buy, like, a litre of bees, rather than a number of bees. Yeah, right? It's great. Alright. Is the score like literally half? No, not quite. Well, what does a litre of bees cost? I have no idea. All I know is that because their honey is like, you know, local, like, properly made, unprocessed stuff, they sell it to a couple of shops for £5 a jar, and it retails at £7 a jar for £1, so that's like 450-gram jar. It's really nice honey, though, to be fair. Right, that's everything, isn't it? Good. And the last thing I need to do is copy that over to a USB stick whilst I remember. Hold on, do I have Signal running? No, I don't have Signal RGB running in the background. Good. I installed it earlier to see if I could, like... I didn't find it immediately as intuitive as the ASRock thing. I get so confused over there, used to the Imperial system. A pound is money and everything is grams or kilograms. Yeah, well, I mean, we use pounds sometimes as well. It's weird. Have you used OpenRGB? No. The only RGB software that I previously used is ASRock's own stuff. But yeah, I don't think it works very well with the Ballistix. I have no idea if one's clearly better. Okay, so it's on the, like, rainbow effect. Let's zoom you in a little bit on the RAM. I'm just going to angle the camera at the RAM. I'm finishing up the stream in a minute, but... I don't know. The LEDs are kind of weak. Like, I think that actually does come across on camera. Like, it's a little bit washed out on camera, I guess. But... yeah. I doubt it matters you're in B2 versus A2. No, I don't think so. I mean, the effect is working, but they only have like a couple of like stock effects. They have rainbow and they have screen ambiance. But yeah, they have a couple of different, like they have a Signal RGB rainbow one, which I'll just jack up the speed on that. Just changes between different colours. But they don't have like a... there isn't an obvious effect that's just like solid colour. But I don't know. I imagine you can make nice custom stuff. Anyway, OpenRGB has an effects plugin. Yeah, Signal RGB probably does as well. I've not tried. But yes, on that RGB note, that is everything. I'm going to go send a screenshot to Previous Slayer. Yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Oh, and I have a Discord.